So the next stage is going to be the veteran proposal assessors who take over. And so these are the guys who've done a few funds previous to this one where they've actually been proposal assessors. They've been proven to be able to write good assessments, to have a good critical eye, to have contributed well and not disingenuously at all. And so they get leveled up to a veteran proposal assessor, and they go over, instead of going over the assessments, they go over the assessor's comments themselves. So they will review your work effectively, and from the back of that, any assessments that are subpar, so if they just got friends saying this is really good, or competitors saying this will never work, then it's they are removed, and the proposers, like myself, have the opportunity to go in and flag any bad assessments that they think are unfair or not well thought through, fraudulent. And then the veteran proposal assessors will do a tidying up job, basically going through the whole load of the assessments that are out there. And from the back of that work, we'll then have a score for each proposal. I think it's out of 5. And the ranking order in the voting app then lists the highest ranked proposals first. But that's not the definitive factor on who gets funded. It's actually more based on who's been out there and hustling, sharing their proposal, talking about it, who's got a big following in terms of interest in seeing their problem solved. They're the ones that ultimately win. But just in terms of ranking, in terms of showing in the voting system, that's where the veteran proposal assessors have played their part. So yeah, you're hands off now until August sometime, I think, when you'll get paid for your hard work. So how many hours did you put in?
About 6.
6, okay. So half a day, well, nearly a day. Reading proposals. Did you find any good ones? Any ones you're interested in?
Yeah, there's a couple with regards to females basically getting on and doing schooling. Because obviously they were talking about some of the rural areas of struggling. I think they said about something like 20% of female students were basically in the put forward. So there's a couple on that, and I can't remember what the other one was that I looked at. So there's 3 in total that I actually went through and did some put some comments in on, but not just saying, hey, that really looked nice. I actually went through what they proposed and gave some recommendations. One of them I don't believe actually had enough funding in them, so I told them to increase their funding, and I gave the reasons why. So yeah, nice to see what happened.
Yeah, good stuff. The more people that are involved, the more people that do have skills in very niche areas, the better the whole system will work. Because I can speak on a few topics, technical ones mostly, but I can't speak to the efficiency of ones looking to run teaching programs or skills that just aren't something I've practiced a lot in. I can have an opinion, but really we want proper assessments done and viability and all that to play into it. So it's great to have you doing that. Thank you, Paul. Excited.
Oh, it was quite enjoyable. It was to see their reactions, and also then the knock-on effects, because obviously other people were then feeding into that as well, adding comments as well, and all, like you said, all positive. No one was looking to drag what I saw anyway, drag the people down. So yeah, and they got a lot of kudos. So
you got a lot of kudos. Nice. Stack them.
Safety proposals,
Sorry, what was that? I missed it.
I said better than health and safety proposals that he has to do for his work.
Yeah, that's not so much fun. Writing risk assessments and stuff's great. Not compared to reading up on blockchain tech and one of the projects I'm working with, this is Barbo and Wonder, working with a US firm who do 3D printing of houses. So you actually have effectively big chef's icing nozzles, but full of cement, and they draw out houses and build them up in layer by layer into full structures. And she wants to introduce that tech to Africa. It's a really rapid way of building housing. There's a load of advantages over, traditional skill sets. So quite excited for that one. See how that turns out.
What's the name of that company, Jonathan? That sounds really interesting.
The ones that actually do the printing, I don't have their name, but Trellis are the company that are looking to engage them in Zimbabwe. And I'm actually doing some work with Trellis now already. In fact, I've invited them into the call, so they may turn up at some point, but not as of yet.
No, because I don't know if I mentioned, but one of my dreams is to do a self-build. And I've actually been looking at 3D homes, and the company that I've been looking at is called Icon, based in the States. Because I've never understood how I can't get my head around how you would 3D print a home. But anyway, so I've been looking at Icon's kind of website, because that's what they're doing. And apparently they've built a few in the US. I don't know if they do anything outside the US or not. So it's just an area that I'm researching.
That's very, very good. I definitely should put you in touch then, because anybody who's researching stuff that's cutting edge like this is a step ahead of most people you'll speak to. So just being aware and having a different Britain providers to look at is really useful.
Because I'm all for sort of sustainable living. I mean, my dream has always been to do a self-build, and I'm looking at sort of various companies that that do the high spec eco homes, but I'm also looking for something that's cost effective, because what I want to do is create a home that meets a number of criteria. So it's designed really well, it's eco-friendly, it's sustainable, aesthetically pleasing, and also cheap. So not something that's going to cost you millions to make, to build. So that's so I'm just kind of researching all different kinds of technologies and ways of doing it. So
one technique I saw recently that I thought was fascinating was hempcrete. So you'll have hemp in molds, and then they come like Lego blocks, and you can just stack them up.
Yes.
And they've got insulation layers and waterproof membraning, and fascinating. I love the idea. I love Lego. I love the idea of doing a self-build. Why not combine the two?
Exactly.
Fun. So I missed half of Luca's call this morning. It was my youngest's birthday today, so we were up early opening presents and stuff before he head off to school. But good to see Luca back again. He covered some interesting stuff just while I was in the call. Was there anything major from the first half hour that I missed?
I was a little late myself, Jonathan, so I didn't join until about 8:10.
Okay.
All about the doom and gloom with Celsius. Was it 3 arrows?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
They said again, keep your money in your wallet, keep your keys, keep hold of it, keep control of it.
Yeah. And this bear market has really embedded that in my thinking. The risks are real, and they're not all attacks. Some of them are just things collapse if they're not well structured, and people get greedy in any position. So we really need a decentralized finance system that's so dispersed that it can't be corrupted, because it's got no centralized point to attack or to collapse, and it's just distributed and runs on code. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So going at the end of the call, the questions about Exodus Wallet was an interesting one. That, in fact, my sister was on the call, which I was quite excited about, but didn't get to speak to her. And she had asked me a similar question a couple of weeks ago about staking from Exodus, and Exodus is a good hot wallet, good soft wallet, so it does its job well. I use it myself. I put my Bitcoin in Exodus because it gets it off the exchanges, and you do actually hold your keys in Exodus. But when it comes to, and that was a fundamental difference that's clarified in my mind as well, as proof of work and proof of stake. For a proof of work chain, you don't need to stake. You don't need any of that stuff. You just need people to be incentivized to run compute cycles. That's all that's needed. The proof of stake model is a different approach. It removes the high energy costs and it removes running all those compute cycles, but it compensates that with, you do have to make some choices about who you trust within the network, and that's why it's a staking model. You have to, like, from my perspective, I have to attract stake, which shows trust in me as an operator. The volume that I can make an influence on the network is capped. So this week, in fact, I've finally been approved into the Cardano Single Pool Alliance, which means that I've made a public declaration not to run more than one stake pool. So with the current network parameters, that means I can have up to 63 million staked. So I can have 63 million ADA's worth of trust assigned to me, and I've committed to not having more than that level. And 60 million will do me. That's all right, and so that's a single operator running that much. On the other hand, the guys like Coinbase, they can attract as much as they want. They're an enterprise. An enterprise job is to make as much money for itself, its stakeholders, its employees as it can, and so it's essentially a greedy thing that can't be controlled by an individual. So the board of shareholders, trustees, they'll want profits to rise. Everybody who's a shareholder in it wants profits to rise. Everybody who works there wants profits to rise. So that it's always going to be greedy. We can't really escape that. It's capitalism. So if we want to counteract the effects of capitalism on and the way it brings about centralized control, then we use a proof of stake network and we limit the number of large actors within that. And that's what Cardano is doing with its 63 million cap on a single stake pool operator. People have bypassed that and ignored the intentions by running multiple pools. So that is frowned on by most people in the ecosystem, because you can, so Coinbase has got 33 pools or something like that, each of them holding 63 million. So that's 2.1 billion ADA, and now controlled by a single entity. And like I mentioned on the call, one stake pool operator, who was a community pool operator employed by Coinbase, is now responsible for running all of those 33 stake pools. So he made a mistake. He didn't rotate some of his encryption keys, which we have to do on a 3-month cycle. And so for a whole epoch, 5 days or more, I think it might even have been more, it might have been 10 days, there was no block production by all that amount of ADA. And so that's a significant loss. It meant that the efficiency of the chain went down. And they were assigned blocks. They were asked to produce blocks because that's the way the network does. If you're an operator, you're asked to mint blocks and to validate the transactions. And so for 10 days, they were given blocks to do, and each of those pools would have had 30-40 blocks given to them. So spread that over 33. That's a significant compute capacity or validation capacity of the network just disappeared because it was a single guy running lots and lots of pools on behalf of a greedy enterprise. So it's very easy. It's very, very difficult to design a system to counteract all these different avenues. The human is the wiliest of creatures and will find a way to to accumulate wealth wherever it can, and that's what we're trying to counteract with technology. And so with a proof of stake network, it's putting the power into the hands of the individuals. So you hold your keys, you put your stake where you decide to. So then there is less chance of power accumulating. It still does to a large extent, but yeah, we're doing okay. There's a whole move to try and create new metrics for this, measurements of decentralization. The legendary one has been the Nakamoto coefficient, which was sort of given the name of the founder of, or the mythic figure behind Bitcoin's release, and so that has a coefficient that you can loosely gauge how distributed, how decentralized the network is, a blockchain is. And so Cardano is currently running at 22, but it's kind of like, what does 22 mean? Who knows? We just know it's bad if it goes down and it's good if it goes up. But Charles Hoskinson, IOG, have just funded a new program with, I think it's Edinburgh University, or was it Lancaster? Not entirely. I think it's Edinburgh, to run a research program on a new decentralization metric, effectively. So that will I think it's Edinburgh, ED something, Edinburgh's Decentralized Index, EDI maybe. So that will be a new figure that can then be applied to any blockchain to give it a rating in terms of its decentralization. And the way that we then make decisions as a network and what parameters we're changing can be informed by this EDI. It'll be like a goal that we can head towards. There's a great quote from Charles Hoskinson that says, "What's our North Star in blockchain?" And our North Star is decentralization, and that's what we've always got to promote and propagate and push. I've rambled on again. Sorry, I do that, don't I?
That's right. Just listened to his recording for the last 8 minutes between yourself and Luca, and yeah, very inspiring.
Cracking, good. So, a couple of new faces, new voices. Would be great to hear. Abby, Hele, Eric. You've been here before, but not spoken much. Any questions? Anything you want to say hello? Introduce yourself.
Hello. Yeah. I've come here to learn and listen. It's very interesting. I often come Friday morning to Lucas, and then it's a time problem to carry on. Not that I don't want to. So it's very interesting, but I just wrote down about the staking pools. I have some money on yours and Lucas' advice on Daedalus. Some ADA, sorry, not money. And I could use that on staking on your pool, is that right?
Yeah. So from Daedalus, it's very easy. Just go to the staking tab, search for Fluid, and then click Delegate. Put in your spending passphrase, and you'll be delegated to Fluid Pool. And we're doing well at the moment. We've produced a high amount of blocks for our luck factor. So we're running about 150% luck at the moment, which means that we're producing more currently than we should be, which is great. And don't tell anyone. So the last 12 epochs, we've got like 4% APR return on our holdings, which is really good. So that's us punching above our weights, which is great. So yeah, delegate to the pool. I've got no qualms about recommending people do that, and you'll be getting some additional ADA in your wallet every time we mint a block. And the opportunities for the pool coming up are good. So we've got some. I was explaining last week about there's some liquidity bonds that are being made available to stake pool operators by a project. That means we'll be able to get 1 million ADA pledged to the pool for a year. So that will make a big difference in terms of our. It won't make a huge difference in terms of the percentage that we're returning, because it's about between 3 and 5%, 5.5% maybe maximum you can get delegating to any stake pool. So that will go up slightly from where we are, because we are still under that 5%. But it will mean that we get rewards every 5 days. So you'll see it coming in and of course that's all compounding. So it's nice to have that that visible indicator of your wealth growing, rather than just having it sitting somewhere and not seeing it, not thinking about it. It's nice to see that just dripping into your wallet. So that'll be a good place to get to. But yeah, we're doing well at the moment. And
Is there also, I remember once you said that you're supporting students in Ethiopia.
Yes, correct. So we, what my commitment as a pool operator is, I'm very keen on impact staking as a tool for spreading the wealth out. So the commitment to that, I've said that I will, for every delegator to the pool, every day that you delegate with us, then I'll give a day of electricity or ICT access and ICT access to students in Ethiopia. So that works through B1G1, which you may be aware of. They have a school in Ethiopia that has an IT department, and they work with lots of urban Ethiopian children, and get them access to the internet, and we basically power their computer lab, and we've been able to donate $926 now since the pools started. So we've got 22 delegators to the pool now. We've got about 150,000 ADA, and that's resulted in nearly $1,000 going to Ethiopia, which I think is great, and that will only scale up, and it's then ticking the box for me in terms of making a difference to the world, to real people who are struggling, and also growing my wealth. So what can be better? I mean, it's charity, but being paid to do it, so it works for me. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Great. Yeah, that's what I really like. Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Yeah, and I have just updated my my website for the first time since we launched, so you can go and check that out. We have hi Ella. We have a can't speak microphone unless I quit first time using Discord. Yeah, there's a problem. Discord does not behave well for everybody. So sorry about that. We can try another time to get that working for you if you want. Now there is a chat feature within Discord's video calls now, so I'm going to drop the link in there to my pool so you can actually see it.
Sometimes leaving the meeting and coming back though can help.
Yeah, sometimes it's that simple.
Come back in. Have you tried that, Hilla? I think it's quite easy to join again, so if you just say disconnect and then try back again, you'll come back in. It might work, fingers crossed.
It might. So yeah, I've just dropped the link to the pool website, and I've just updated it. I mean, it's still not glorious, but it's at least it's got some content on it now. So you can read down that page, reasons for staking and why Cardano, and then there's a good section at the bottom that pulls in widgets from B1G1 to actually show the giving that we've done and the target. So what I'm thinking I'll do, actually I can share screen, can't I? That would be useful. What I'm thinking I'll do is change the mission that we give to every year, something like that. So the first one was this Ethiopian school, and we can change that in September, I think. So in a couple of months' time, we could actually change. My target for that year, since I started running, was to donate or to make 5,000 impacts, which are the metric that B1G1 use to track the influence of the donors. So there should be a stream of my screen now showing as well, which will be another sort of video chat in the grid if you can find it, or you can hover over my head and see view stream. just got the website up at the moment. So yeah, at the bottom here, we've got the section that shows you the impacts made. So we've made 3,240 impacts in the past 12. No, since the start of I started tracking, which I think is September. And so we are. Actually, it must be later than that because we're 64% of the way through. But basically, we're on track to hit 5,000, which was my target, which is pure luck. But there we go. And the more people we attract in, the better we'll do. And I think as soon as we hit the goal of 5,000, then we can choose or out of the selection of projects which one to go with next. Because obviously. A good part of giving is to give enough to equip people to have a leg up, but people need to get to a point of self-sufficiency, not just living off charity. Otherwise, their economies are not going to boom. So I'm very conscious about trying to spread giving, and it should be for a self-empowering purpose. So there's sort of the criteria I'd set for picking which missions we go with, but I'd really like you guys to be involved in that decision-making process in who we use as our impact giving target for the next period.
Great. Fantastic.
Cracking. Yeah, so yeah, the logos and the graphics in blockchain space are a niche. I should call them. They're not the coolest, but you can see down in the footer there we've got the two new alliances that we're part of. One is the XSPO Alliance, and they are a group of extra small stake pool operators. So these are guys who are just coming into the network, starting to operate. It's very difficult to reach sort of critical mass where you are earning enough for your delegators for them to stick around. And so the extra small pool alliance is focused on educating its members on helping out small pool operators and spreading the network. Because the more people, more individual pool operators we have, the more decentralized we are, the more protected we are from attacks, influence, all those sorts of things. So they've got a really good and a really good educator. Some of the brightest minds in the space run that. Vahid runs the Ada for Good stake pool. Again, impact. A lot of the guys in stake pool operators are impact focused, which is great. Vahid, I think, is in Israel, and he runs a pool that donates to Save the Children, and he's fully saturated. Just in the from operating in the past year, mostly I think because he's very good at sharing his story, but also about sharing the benefits of giving to Save the Children and running a decentralized pool. So he's a good inspiration. There's also George from Apex Pool, who's a very bright mind, technically helping with parameter changes, proposals, and structuring the network. And then the one who've just been approved for is the Cardano Single Pool Alliance, which is all about declaring that you'll only ever run one pool. And then, of course, we've got B1G1, which so the way B1G1 works is that it costs $1 a day to be a partner of theirs. So Fluid 7 pays that, and then on top of that, you do your giving. So the staking rewards that Fluid Pool makes, portion of that goes to, well, so every new delegator we give to this. And so it's like this pledge here. Each day you stake with Fluid Pool, we provide a day of internet access for students in Ethiopia. That will change obviously when we switch to the new impact target, and so we can mix up how we are measuring how much we give as well. So that might be
I had a question about that statement, Jonathan. When I read it, so each day you stake with Fluid Pool, we provide a day of internet access. So is that per delegator? So if there's 50 delegators, do you provide 50 days?
Yes.
So it's not obviously the ADA quantity. Like if there was 5,000 ADA, you're providing 5,000 days.
Yes. So that was a way for me thinking, how can I make an impact with no money coming in? So at the moment, I'm paying more out for running the infrastructure of the pool than we are making. But of course, we're all getting ADA rewards, and I believe they're much more valuable than the market price at the moment, because we're running at a fifth of the all-time high. And I believe Cardano is the most valuable blockchain out there. So, I'm not going to speculate on price, but it's going up in the next couple of years for sure. So any ADA I pick up, I'm very happy about, no matter how it's done, because I see it as a really top-notch asset to hold. And the way to get giving to start with was like, well, let's grow it in correlation with the number of delegators. So that way I've got an incentive to get more people staking to the pool, which will then help grow the adoption of the pool early on. Now it might change that, every target we reach in terms of delegation, we give more for the next one. And this is one of the ways I want to contribute to the Cardano ecosystem, is to create this relationship with B1G1 where we can grow the number of pool operators who are running impact-driven pools and actually have verified giving to vetted projects. Because at the moment there's no way of tracking that or knowing what impact the blockchain and the stake pool operators are having on the world, other than that they're growing wealth for everybody who holds ADA, which is mostly the Northern Hemisphere still, I think. So we want to get that spread out and start to get the wealth going as well. But yeah, that's the goal, the giving goal for the site. So we can do some creative thinking, and your input on that for when we hit our target, which we're on the way to, would be really good. So yeah, get your friends and family in, split your wallets, and we'll hit that target even sooner. So yeah, there's a couple of new delegators this last few weeks as well. 3, I think. So we're up to 22 delegators, and 150,000 ADA. Some of that's come through Project Catalyst projects that stake with us. They've received their funding for Fund 8, extra tranches, so that then bumps our level of stake up. So yeah, being partnered with Project Catalyst, talking about it, having you guys contribute, Paul, is excellent, because that's another way we can attract trust in the network, get people staking with the pool, and grow this little community, which is good. So Hella, did you get your mic working in the end, or was it still not? I'll take your silence as a no if nothing changes. Abby's dropped off before we got a chance to speak. That's fine. How are you, Utan? How's things? Has Jaya arrived yet?
Yeah, Jay, beside me now.
I'm here. I'm listening to you at work. Yes.
Just like look, I had contracted COVID as well.
You had?
And then yeah, now it's all negative now. So
oh, good.
Yeah, but years ago I had a bit of a challenging time.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's really this NFT event.
Oh
We're
yeah.
supposed to.
Very close. You're very close to here. Close to our place, but we couldn't go.
Oh, because you'd gone down with COVID. Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping to come down, but yeah, things got on top of me.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have been too much effort. But if you weren't there, that's fine. I can live without it.
But I've been sort of like gone through your video. Like yesterday was a bit better, so I started going through your video, and about also this Assessor. This one that we talked about with Paul, I think proposal assessor guide. I was going through that, And like Paul, I'm also, I think, pretty keen. So I'm just going through that document and see, if I could sort of get involved as well.
Great. Yeah. Well, your expertise would be really valuable in it. There's a lot of network projects that need good eyes on them, and just our conversations down in London the other week got me thinking about ways we can get you in and draw you into the crowd. I've just dropped a link to the YouTube channel as well, so there's a playlist on there with all the Cardano Q&A sessions that I've managed to record, so you can catch up on the previous ones at any time as well.
Great stuff. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
So, any more questions? Any topics you want covered? We were going to do voting registration, weren't we? But there's not open yet, so there's actually some limitations to what we could do that's useful in that regard at the moment. I think the window opens soon. Let me just see if I can find it actually quickly. I've got a good map that you'll find interesting, Paul, of the timeline. So yeah, we've just hit the veteran proposal assessor stage, which is the second PA's. Oh, actually no, we're down here on the 15th of July. So this is still in the assessment period, and then the veteran proposals come in next week. Okay, so we're doing assessment flagging now. So yeah, now proposers can go in and flag anything they think is unfair, critique of their proposals, and then the veteran proposers will go in and see those and check those as well. Yeah, so the voting registration opens up. Oh no, it's saying it is open already on the 7th of April. Okay, cool. So we could go through and look at the voting registration. I just need to reset my app then, because at the moment it's just telling me that I've got registered to vote, but haven't got anything to vote on yet. So if we do a registration from scratch, that would be useful. I need to think about it in advance though, because half of the process is on mobile, so I need to get some screen sharing up on mobile, which should be doable with Discord. But yeah, I like to practice that because it'll be lots of buttons and clicking, and like I said, I'm not a multitasker, natural multitasker. So any other aspects of wallet?
Maybe even screenshotting it, Jonathan, will help. I don't know whether you can put screenshots up on here.
Yeah. We can drop. And probably worth doing a blog post about it actually. I can get the screenshots on there and we can run through it. And then do a bit of video screen sharing of the desktop portion of it, certainly. And if I can get the mobile working as well, we'll do that too.
Awesome.
And that would be...
I just had a quick question, Jonathan, about if I wanted to increase the amount that I'm staking, is it a case of transferring the ADA into that original wallet that I've staked from? Or would I be better off creating a separate wallet?
No, you can use the same one. So at any point you can buy ADA, wherever you can get hold of it on the exchange, and then just send it into your native Cardano wallet address, receive address, and it'll automatically added to the compound staking. So if that wallet is already staked, it will just pick up anything that's in it and keep staking it and keep compounding it as well. So it's very useful. One of the beautiful things about the Cardano ecosystem, because on other staking methods you have to you have to claim your rewards and then restake them to actually start compounding. Whereas on Cardano, it's just all automated, hands-free, which is really nice. And doesn't stop you spending it.
Yes, it's the same question on that with the arches one. So we would like to add some more ADA on your fluid pool. So then all this whatever I have already staked, it will be amalgamated in a one pool, or it will be like a separate wallet and separate rewards and kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. You can, if you wanted to, say you were keeping a long-term savings wallet, and then you had a NFT splurging wallet. If you just have some that you don't mind pulling from, then you can sort of break it down into a couple of wallets. You can still have them both staked to Fluid Pool. You might have your larger holding running on a hardware wallet, so you could have a sort of a more inconvenient method of spending from that wallet by putting it into a hard wallet and much more secure, and then just leave a smaller portion that you might be able to buy into other investment opportunities within the Cardano blockchain in another wallet. That's something that I do, and so both those wallets are still staked with Fluid Pool, and anything I do put into them at any point automatically gets added to that staking reward calculation. But my smaller wallet I can spend out of anytime I want. So one of the delegators to Fluid Pool has been buying up NFTs like crazy at the moment because they're all dirt cheap, and some of these NFTs have huge returns on interest if the project does well. Most of them will fizzle away to zero, and I say most of them, like honestly, hand on heart, they're worth nothing. But some of them do hit that critical mass and do garner a whole load of attention, and suddenly become blue chip NFTs. And your 10 ADA, 50 ADA, 200 ADA can turn into 200,000, which is just insane. It's a very speculative market, though. I don't understand it. Don't know where the value is coming from, but it's there. It's legitimate. So, I can't sniff at it. But I'm much more interested in the functionality. So yeah, I'm just sharing pool.pm, which is my favorite place to look at the blockchain. You can see we've had stake coming in last 10 days. That's been pretty good. So the stake is increasing all the time, and then also some of it's being spent on NFTs. But overall, we're still doing well. These are our 22 delegators. So the one thing I did want to look at was just to show you the importance of staking, and trying to explain it to people is, oh dear, I'm forgetting the link now. ADA pools issues with it. Yes. I'm still screen sharing, okay, am I? Yeah. So this is the Cardano Explorer ADA pools. It's a very good one. They've got a new version coming out soon, but this issues page is only available here currently, I think. And it shows you any pools, any community pools that are having problems, and any Cardano pools that are having issues. So you can see here, Ocam-Fi, which is a technical project building on Cardano. They have a stake pool. They've got 25 million ADA staked, and for the last epoch, so at that they should be minting several blocks. Last epoch, when it ended yesterday, in fact, they had 0% luck, which means that they didn't mint any blocks. So they've had some technical issue on that pool, and they've failed to mint blocks. Same with SCAR and UBX pool. I don't know these guys. And that Occam 5 pool, this is the second epoch in a row where he's had problems. So that's revenue lost for the network, for the operators, for the delegators. But again, this is the benefit of Cardano, is that's limited to just one of their pools. So that is a single take pool operator, technical team, building on Cardano, contributing to the system, running a stake pool, attracted some trust, but they've just made, they're not maintaining their pool correctly, and so there's some revenue loss, but it's for that small portion, that 25 million ADA, as opposed to when you've got a large operator like Coinbase coming in, which you can see from Epoch 348. Their pools are very easy to spot because they've got 3 words in the name of the pool, and they're all random, make no sense whatsoever. So that's how you spot a Coinbase pool, because they're basically producing the names of their pools algorithmically, just pulling random words from it. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pools, probably that one as well, to be honest, because by the amount of stake, all fully saturated, 64 million ADA. And very low on luck, which means that for a portion of that epoch, they probably weren't running correctly. And then you go to the epoch before, so that's 348, epoch before 347. You can see now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it goes on and on. All of their pools, 33 or something in total, all fully saturated, some of them even oversaturated. So this one, Serene Salmon Pool, is at 79. So their delegators having diminishing rewards, and all of them 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%. So it didn't mint any blocks. So there was a whole load of compute power spent on sending a network bandwidth sent to those pools to mint those, to validate those transactions, and none of them were validated. And so they all came back to the rest of the pools on the network to validate them. So efficiency of the network dropped. Rewards were lost just from centralization, the effects of centralization. And this sort of stuff would normally go unnoticed if it was happening in a private entity. So our banks are probably having mistakes like this. We don't know about it. It's easily done. And the difference being it's because it's on the blockchain, which is immutable, public storage of information. We can all see it. We all know it's happened. And the community were up in arms. And the poor bloke got shouted at by several people saying, rotate your KES keys. The ironic thing is that the poor guy was on a promotional video from IOHK because he was at the Consensus exhibition in America. So he got himself onto video saying that he was a community pool operator and had just been employed by Coinbase to run their pools. And then a month later, he's being publicly shamed for failing to rotate his KES keys, which is a mistake you can make if you're not on top of things. So yeah, the transparency is really, really good. It just means that there's checks and balances in place. There is, accountability to people who have no interest in your well-being other than that they wanted to protect their network, and so they will come to you and correct your behavior, which is a self-healing system, which is what we're trying to build. So yeah, if anybody wants to go and investigate that, I'll drop the link as well in the chat.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Something in my memory, can you remind me of something that I kind of pointed out to you? You said, oh, that was interesting, about rewards in your ADA wallet, like for example in Eternl, and what they do, because I'm just having a look now at my Fluid 7, as I call it, my Fluid 7 wallet, and I see some rewards now.
Yeah, nice. So that
and I don't understand where, I'm assuming I haven't harvested or claimed my fibers or my gimbals or something that's coming later, and you'll show us how to do that. So these rewards are ADA for being on Cardano and staked with Fluid, right?
Right, yes. So that is the untouched, unbonus. This is your basic rights as a staker on the Cardano native blockchain. So I haven't done anything to give you those. That's just come out by pure algorithm. Maths has done it for you, and I can't change.
And I can't remember what I showed you, but it's the voting powers or something.
Yes.
I
So
can't even remember what I discovered and told you.
yeah. So what you discovered was that the rewards that have been given to you, the ADA rewards that have been given to you, are auto compounding in your wallet. So you are now earning the next level of rewards based on your original stake plus your previous rewards. The only reason for claiming your rewards is at voting time, basically. So Eternl Wallet has informed everyone that to maximize your voting power, you need to claim your rewards. So if you've got a few hundred ADA sitting as rewards, or more likely tens of ADA sitting as rewards, you claim them into your back into your own wallet, as opposed to just on your staking key. So in your wallet address rather than your stake address, and then because you use your wallet address to actually do your voting. And so when the snapshot for the vote is taken, before that you should claim your rewards if you want to maximize your voting power.
I've just spotted it now, and just by the button that says withdraw rewards in Eternl Wallet, it says your rewards are automatically part of your delegated stake. There is no need to withdraw rewards other than sending them away or to have them count towards your Catalyst voting power.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, I knew there was something in there. The more I see it, the more it will become automatic.
Yeah, this is learning by immersion. The more you're soaked in it, the more you learn. So this is my staked ADA wallet, I call it. So I'll spend on things that I like. I'll use it to buy into projects that I think are worth investing into. And I get my Fluid 7 ADA rewards in through here. So you can see my rewards have come in, and I've got 116 ADA in my rewards, my staking address, and I can claim those into my balance. So then when the voting snapshot is taken, that counts towards it. And to do that, I would use this withdraw rewards button. But I don't need to do that now, so I shan't. I think, I'm not 100%, but I think it costs you a transaction fee to actually withdraw the rewards, to claim the rewards. So I think it's like 0.17 ADA.
So it's not necessarily a quick administration thing to just be like, oh, up the balance there. You don't want to be doing it.
There's no reason to, really.
Unless you have to.
Yeah, unless you want to spend it all, or you want to vote with it. So yeah, just something to do. Probably a snapshot in from my regards, or if I want to empty my wallet on this elite NFT that I must have. So yeah, interesting. Thanks for that.
Jonathan, just on another one, which you might have looked at and looked into, what's this one called? Cardano Shift. Have you heard of that?
Cardashift. Is that it?
Yeah, Cardashift. Apologies. Yeah.
Yes, I have heard of them a lot. I've looked at them. I can't remember much about them. I think they're a launch pad. So I think they take projects in. That's it. That's right. They're a mission impact driven launchpad. So the projects that they accept onto their program, effectively they run an accelerator or incubator for those projects. The criteria for the projects getting in are they have to be mission driven, so impact focused, environmental or social or governance or something like that, and they then get some technical advice and technical help also then the voting community who hold the clap token, which is it's not something I've aspired to in life. It's to have the clap, but I do actually have some now. And if you hold clap, you can then vote on the projects that are accepted into the incubator. So something useful you can do with your clap. And the project. Sorry,
I've got them. But is there again, like your normal Cardano, is there a time frame, like an epoch when you can vote again or join the pool or whatever?
There is, yes, and I haven't kept on top of it. So I jumped into it about a month ago, but that was right at when they were running a vote. In fact, they were doing some sort of staking at the time as well. So there is more to this platform that I really should be better aware of. So worth investigating. But
you can stake or go into the liquidity pool in I think it's Sunday Swap. I had mine there as well.
Okay, yeah. So they have some opportunities for increasing your holdings of clap through staking and through working with the exchanges, and then all this powers the again, it's got a voting power to it, so you can actually partake in the governance of the Cardashift platform, and then the ultimate beneficiaries of the launchpad are impact-focused projects. So there were things like there was a move to replace all the plastics in fast food chains with reusable crockery cutlery, which I thought was a really good thing. So you could have recycled plastic plates and containers for your burgers that could actually then you get given that with your burger in it, eat your burger, and then you hand it back to McDonald's, who will then wash it rather than it just going into landfill or back into the recycling process, which seems like a good thing to do. Again, we have to research the economies of washing crockery and the impact of that economically, environmentally, over the impact of things having to go through the recycling chain. But yeah, that's one to look at. And there was another project to do with education, again in Africa somewhere. But I'm pulling things from too shallow a pool of knowledge now. I'll stop talking. You can just do your own research.
I think they had 12 or 14 different what's the word?
Projects, proposals.
Different projects, yeah. I think they've narrowed it down to 2 for this latest one that's just gone with. But yeah, it's just when that next time frame comes up to revote again.
Okay.
Really, I'll do my own DD on it.
Yeah, come and bring it back as well. That'd be useful to know. So this is looks like the timeline. So they are currently in fundraising stage, or is this for building out their launchpad, or is this for actual applicants? Yeah, this is for applicants. Yeah. And so yeah, if you have an impact-driven project, you could apply to Cardashift to be included in their next vote.
Nice.
And yeah, again, looks like a well-built system. Must have a well-funded team, a large team as well. I can't say I recognize any of them from community meetings or anything, but I have heard them talked about, and they've presented at town halls before. I just don't remember who it was or recognize who it was that presented. But yeah, a very big team.
Jeez.
Must be well funded. Joanna, Atia, I know, and Joshua Akpan. Oh, these are ambassadors. Okay, so they're not actually working for them; they're just helping promote them. Joanna's great. She runs a podcast on the Cardano ecosystem along with Hotel Cardano, which is a hotel in Spain, I think, that accepts ADA for residents or for guests. Joshua Akpan is founder of Liquid Finance, which is a hugely exciting community impact-driven platform being built out on Cardano that will offer loans, financing. I think even got DEX on the cards, and they're the guys who airdropped their token to people who had just been on their Discord server from early days, and their airdrop, the token value at peak was about $10,000 worth. Now I think it's sitting at about 5,000 after the drop. But yeah, to receive an airdrop of that size is incredible. For doing nothing other than being interested in their product is incredible. So very generous airdrop, which just shows that they're not interested in holding the wealth. They're interested in distributing it and getting the adoption of their build out there, which is great. And these are opportunities that we might stumble into as we gather like this and talk about stuff we're seeing. So NMKR is one that I've talked about recently that I jumped in on, and that has had a great return. So I put in 1,000 ADA, and I've now got I then got NMKR tokens given back to me, and they are valued at 4,000 already. So I'm already 4 times up on what I put in, and that's in the bear market as well. So when an NMKR is the platform. No, so they started out just doing NFT distribution platforms, and now, very interesting, they've just released this payment module, which is really slick, and effectively it gives you the same sort of abilities as PayPal or Stripe would give you to be able to take payments on your site, but as well as accepting credit cards, you can also accept ADA native payments. So they're building the tools to serve the industries that are forming on Cardano, which I see as very worthwhile investing in, because that's like stocking up on spades in a gold rush. You don't go out digging for gold. You stock up on the tools that will serve that industry. Yeah. So I'm trying to find a link to their actual tool, maybe on the products. And make a pay. Yeah. So this was new to me, and this is going to drive their success, I'm sure. So this is a sample payment page. Oh no, you actually sign up for their platform from their demo. Is that the one? I think this is into their platform as well. Oh no, this is a payment page. So yeah, so you can see this is like a little widget that you'd see on if you hit a pop-up, if you were donating with Just Giving or something like that, you get a little Stripe window pop-up. This is their model, but as well as offering you the ability to pay with credit cards, you can also connect your wallet and pay with directly with ADA. They accept the Nami Eternl Flint wallet, and you can also do a manual transaction through it. And this isn't their credit card version, but they do have one as well.
So buying the NMKR token, where I think this is on my to-do list, and why I never get around to doing things, is because I now know how to buy things on a centralized exchange. Using Nexo, Binance, Coinbase, whatever. that is like the bridge between fiat and crypto. Okay, I get it and understand how to get it. And I also understand a little bit how to move it into a decentralized wallet. But I'm still a bit confused with the Eternl side of things, like you can only have ADA in there, right? Not different currencies. So if I wanted to go and buy NMKR now, do I have to get familiar with sort of like the Sunday swap exchange or Muesli swap or something like that and go and buy it there? And then where is it stored? Is it stored in that wallet on Sunday swap? I'm missing a connection here.
Yeah, so I don't know if they share all the places for sale, but they're certainly on all the major decentralized exchanges on Cardano. So Muesli, Sunday, Min, Maladex, Wingriders. I think they're all holding stocks or got liquidity for NMKR now. So the one that I like is Muesli Swap, which is the oldest DEX on Cardano. So you'd go to there, you would connect your wallet. So you could select Eternl. I'm not sure if you're seeing my little share window. No, you've just seen the big share window. So you get a little pop-up that shows. So if I can maybe share this screen.
Muesli Swap and the like are like
So you get
bank account for decentralized tokens. So if you go and look on CoinGecko or Binance or anywhere, you can go and see what the value in dollars or pounds or whatever of those tokens are currently. Like you would look up Bitcoin or ADA or something. But if you can't find a token, then it's likely that it's a decentralized token with some sort of utility or project behind it. And then you need to go to something like Muesli Swap, Sunday Swap, then to find those tokens.
Yes.
Because they're in like a different, universe, so to speak.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So Binance, centralized exchange, very good at bringing fiat currencies in and letting you buy cryptocurrencies. They will also hold some Cardano native tokens. So I think you can get Copy tokens on Binance, which is a Cardano native token. But you can actually buy it through Binance. But that's buying it on a centralized exchange. You can, if you hold ADA and you want to exchange some ADA for a Cardano native token like NMKR or Copy or Meld, then you could do that on a decentralized exchange. The primary difference between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange is centralized is private entity managed by or comes under some legal jurisdictions based on geography, and they're forced to do KYC and AML on everybody using those platforms. A decentralized exchange has a team that wrote code and put it onto the blockchain, and that code now determines how you buy or sell any of the tokens on there. So you are not dealing with a private entity that can be coerced. You don't have to do KYC or AML. You're just buying from the blockchain itself using the power of algorithms, code. And so this exchange is presenting a view of the blockchain, showing you what's available to buy and sell, using ADA as the currency. So I can buy some NMKR token for 0.0145 ADA. And so you could go on here.
And then where does that sit? So how do you see that in your Eternl wallet then? So I go to the Muesli Swap exchange, I'm in ADA world, and I've got my ADA currency, and I want to go and buy some tokens that are not on the decentralized stuff that I was familiar with growing up. This is now in my new world. I'm in my ADA world, and I want to buy some NMKR, and then I want to see it in my decentralized wallet, of which I have Eternl.
Yeah. So so again, you come to Muesli Swap. So you see my screen share.
Yes. Yes, thanks.
We're on the NMKR page, or NMKR page on the MinSwap site. You would connect your wallet, and that blue button top right, and it tells you which you can connect with. So I can connect with Eternl. It's not liking it because I just disconnected it. Refresh, I think that should work then. Oh no, it doesn't like me now because I just disconnected it. So it might have blocklisted it.
Do you have any in your Eternl wallet already?
I do, yes. So if I was buying some, I would connect the wallet. It would then let me see a buy button on this page. So I could then go and place an order for NMKR, and then it would be returned to my wallet when that order was fulfilled. So MinSwap is an order book model. So you say which price you're willing to buy it for, and then if somebody's got some that they're willing to sell at that price, the exchange is made. So it goes from their wallet into your wallet, and your ADA goes from your wallet into their wallet, all via this decentralized exchange which manages that process. And so
again, sitting in your Eternl wallet, if you have these different segregations like we've spoken about before, like you've got there, when you're on MinSwap, you're pointing at the one that says connect wallet. It'll also ask you, well, which one do you want here? Like within your big Eternl wallet, which subsection do you want to use?
Within Eternl, you're dead right. You've got this option here at the top to plug something in, and that basically makes this wallet the one used for DApp connections. So whenever you hit a connect wallet button on MinSwap or something, it will use whichever wallet you've got this plug connected for.
So that's even that could be a safety measure, like equivalent to the real world, where you don't want to, like using a different card. You know, you don't want to use this card, you want to use that card, and then you know that you won't overspend on something.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can. So none of the other ones will be
like
connected.
A little spend ADA Eternl wallet.
Yeah, yeah. And so you have to make sure you've got the right wallet connected when you do that. NMKR when you connect. So I can see I've connected that now. And
okay.
I've got my wallet connected, and then when you do the purchase, it will come through and show up in your token list.
Okay, so the token list can be the NFT stuff because of the all FT NFT. Okay.
Yes. So NMKR
you'll
is
either see all of them, or you can filter on NFTs that you have or other Cardano tokens.
Yeah. So this is that filter.
NMKR.
This FT filter will just show you the currencies, the native currencies. So all of these are fungible tokens, which means there are thousands, millions of these, which are all exactly the same. The NFT is when there's only one of that specific one on chain. So yeah.
Now you've got NMKR under there, and also Liquid and all these other things. And that's where you see your wealth. You know, so say you wanted to just check in on, well, how much NMKR do I have? You'd know which wallet you were looking at. You'd go and have a quick look, and you would see, for argument's sake, if I just use round numbers, I've bought 10 NMKR, and I've still got 10 NMKR. That's great. You know, a little quick check. But the staked ADA wallet that you've got there, the NMKR is not earning anything. On the staking, it's only the ADA that's left behind in the balance that's staked automatically where you've got it staked.
Yes. Okay. That's the basic crux of it. However, you can hold other tokens. Like in here, I've got my World Mobile tokens in this wallet as well. So that's in my staked ADA wallet. I've got that imported into Eternl. But in fact, I bought these through the initial token launch of the World Mobile Token, and I have access to staking World Mobile tokens. So that's a native token on the Cardano blockchain, but it is not ADA. But I do have it staked with the World Mobile platform, and I'm earning extra World Mobile tokens every epoch because I'm staking World Mobile. So
was that just a second or third level down to what we just discussed?
yeah, sort of. So you were starting to get down to the point of staking only gets you ADA rewards, but actually, if you've got the right native token, then you can stake that as well and earn those rewards too. So you can actually stake WMT, and even though it's all in that one wallet on the Cardano blockchain, I can attach that to the WMT platform to earn additional WMT, just like I've got my ADA wallet attached to Fluid Pool to earn extra ADA rewards.
Was that a bit of a rabbit hole? Can I just?
You can park that for now. Yeah. Let me just.
Yeah, that went from one thing to another thing, which I don't want to take away from my understanding. In that, if I want a token that I can't find on a centralized exchange or information like Coinbase or Binance, and I need to go to something like MinSwap, SundaySwap, which are decentralized exchanges, and then and most of these are on the Cardano blockchain, which means the currency in that world begins with ADA. And so you would need to put some ADA in there, and the current way of that at the moment is through a centralized exchange, like you buy some ADA and move it across, or you could buy directly. So you buy some. So say I wanted to now buy some NMKR. How do I get my ADA in there? Like I don't want to use my other Eternl stuff. I can't remember how I got it in Eternl because I'm a newbie at that. And I put in Fluid 7. I don't want to use my Fluid 7 ADA, for example, but I want some new NMKR stuff. So I go to MinSwap. I top it up. No, I top up my Eternl wallet.
So you'd if you don't want to spend any of the ADA that you already have, you want to use new currency to buy this NMKR token, then you would go to Binance, buy some more ADA with your credit card or however you're doing it, then send that ADA over to
because that's the current way of getting your fiat into crypto out of centralized into decentralized.
Yeah. So you can't buy NMKR on Binance, so you have to move it from Binance into Eternl on the Cardano blockchain, and then you can use your Eternl wallet to buy your NMKR from MinSwap.
Can you buy ADA in a decentralized wallet anyway currently, or is that something that's technology's coming? Is that what they're trying to do, the bridges and hybrids between?
So you can't spend your so you can exchange. So say you were rich in NMKR and you wanted to buy some ADA, you could do that on a decentralized exchange, but you can't buy ADA with your fiat from a decentralized exchange.
Currently. That's where these centralized exchange come in, and that's why they're giving that gateway currently with how the blockchain is accessed is through the likes of me with fiat, through centralized exchanges. So I buy the ADA, convert my pound into ADA, then move it off into its decentralized wallet like Eternl, and then I'm in blockchain world.
Yeah.
Use their exchanges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, the way I approach it is I really just try and move fiat in one direction. So anything that I want to invest, that I don't need to live off, that I don't need to see back again for a couple of years, I will I'll move it from fiat into the Cardano world at the moment, pretty much exclusively. I don't really buy any other tokens, which probably isn't wise. I should get more Bitcoin. But I move it into, so I'll buy it using crypto.com or Binance from my fiat world, and then I will move it into Cardano native wallet, just so it's not on the exchanges. That way I'm safe from the exchange being attacked, and I can still spend it on anything within the Cardano ecosystem that I want to spend it on, or I could sell it back to the exchange and return it back to the fiat world when the time comes. Good. So that's a little deep dive into the technicalities of buying and trading and selling and sharing.
It's hard to manage your currency in a new universe, how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah, I see it as future money at the moment because we're in a bear market. Just like, I'll put this into my future money pot, and that will be money that I can have later. And I don't almost even don't consider what the market value is of now. I just know that now is a good time to buy because everything's cheap. So my fiat money is now worth more in the future by a significant amount if I can not have it needed to be spent now. So let's move it into the future. And that's just my approach technique. It could burn me, as it has burnt many others, but from my understanding of the underlying technology, the ecosystem, speaking to people, sharing with them, then it's a very healthy way. It meets all the criteria that I set for myself. Yeah, so MinSwap's the other very good pool to look at, and I think has a large selection of pairs with different tokens that you can get hold of. So you can swap your ADA for Meld, Liquid, WMT, Copy, and Maker. Fi is probably another good one. Get the Clap one for Cardastarter. And this is a.
So would there be different rates? I mean, do you have to be diligent about checking MinSwap and MusieSwap and going, okay, so if I wanted to exchange ADA for NMaker on MinSwap, it's going to cost this much, or I can exchange at this price, whereas on MusieSwap it would be at this price? It's a bit like going to the post office or going to Travelex.
Yeah, it is. And there can be significant differences between platforms for various tokens. So it is worth checking if you are going to make a significant purchase. If you're just, if you're what's it called? Daily cost averaging. It's not right, is it? Daily cost averaging? Daily? Okay. If you're buying in just whatever the price is, you earn £1,000 a month, you're going to put £10 of that into crypto, and you just buy £10 worth of crypto every month, then dollar cost averaging, that's where the D is, not daily.
Cost averaging.
Thanks. So that would be a way where it's a small amount you're paying each time. It's probably not worth you having to think about that too much, otherwise it's not going to happen. So it's almost like I will have my wallet with my dollar cost averaging funds being used to buy from MusieSwap or MinSwap, and that's just what I'm going to do one day a month, every month. And it's not going to be I'm not going to look at the best price for it. I'm just going to make sure I do it, and then it's like sticking £10 in every month, just accumulating and not engaging, not being too onerous on your brain power that's needed to get that job done, is then a definite requirement of that process. If you're looking to buy 1,000 ADA, put $1,000 into ADA or another token, then it's worth looking around at the exchanges and seeing who's got the best price at the moment, because they do vary. And what I do is I track all my native tokens in a spreadsheet. I've got a list of how much I hold, what I bought them for, and then I update it with the current price from MinSwap. So I get my valuations from MinSwap, and then I have that figure of how much I'm actually holding in total value, total pound value, total dollar value, just so I know how much the markets are moving. And that's another good thing to keep an eye on, is just when the prices are low.
I wanted to create a spreadsheet. Would you be willing to share like the first 3 lines of that with like a fake balance?
Yeah, absolutely. That could be
a good template.
Thing. Yeah.
Because I was trying to make sense of how I'm going to track this, and I would like to do like a weekly or monthly, probably a monthly, like I do my monthly budget for the home. I think it would be a good idea to just go and have like a little quick viewpoint check on what things are doing, and like you, whether it's good or bad, it's kind of irrelevant at the moment if you're holding something, but it's interesting to maybe see it eventually on a chart or just in numbers, but also like a security check. Where is everything at the moment? And what's it doing? My Eternl.
Luca has already made some available. If you're on Discord, he's already got some charts there, so you can track your tokens, and also if you sell down, what your percentage is of obviously what you're trading them at.
Is that the IAW?
Yeah, I've seen I've seen the profit taking things, and I'm not doing that yet. So it was kind of like a little bit beyond my understanding, in that I'm one of those people that need to be doing to understand, and I need to be going through an action and then repeating the action several times. But I'm getting to a point now where I'm not that I'm buying an awful lot now, but I'm not buying, not only because of the market, but because I feel like I'm scattered everywhere and I don't have a central place to just look at like a normal world summary bank statement, so to speak, of what I've got across these different places that you have to learn about, having Nexo, having Binance, Coinbase. I don't really use Coinbase, but I've got some free ones through the Learn and Earn one. Even just having a record of those, I think, would be a good idea.
Are you looking at too many shiny things?
Exactly, but I need like a normal, familiar world Excel spreadsheet that's simple at the moment, and I haven't built it into anything fancy to just like be the nuts and bolts of information, knowing that I can go and look at charts somewhere else if I want to see bells and whistles, but nuts and bolts is just there. And what you just described, Jonathan, sounds to me like the thing that I'm trying to design in my head, but I haven't got around to doing on paper yet.
Yeah, well, so this is effectively what I use. We could probably simplify it further, because mine has.
It's the kind of things I know that you can like when you download statements from different credit cards and banking things, that they all have slightly different columns. You can't just merge them. No. But I have these spreadsheets where I know what to do. I copy and paste these 5 columns from that statement and I put them in there, and then I can classify my spend. I can classify what I've spent on clothing, what I've spent on groceries, what I've spent on the children, what I've spent on education. And I'm looking for a similar thing in the crypto world, and understanding which columns you need, but to put them into one consolidated place. You'll get that with familiarity.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to share this one with you, and you can just take and run with it. It's all fairly self-explanatory, I think. So first column, or up top, I have the current ADA price being pulled in from this Google Finance thing, which is very cool. You can actually get the current price of ADA in your preferred currency. So I've got it in GBP there, but I could equally do it in USD if I wanted. And then I look at the tokens that I hold. So I've got some LQ tokens, liquid. This is just where I'm storing it for my sanity. I say the price, the exchange that I'm using to get the price of it from. And then I have, this doesn't work very well, but it's kind of working for me. So I just have the token pair, and basically it's only ever ADA, and that's the one I use to then compare the current token price in ADA, because that's what's mostly available.
I can't see the spreadsheet.
Oh.
I don't know if it's me or you. It says I've been disconnected.
So we can see the spreadsheet.
Yeah, it should be sharing okay. It's not open up in another stream window somewhere.
Okay. Oh, maybe I'll leave and come back in.
Yeah, go on, try that. Do pitch in with any questions as well, Eternl and Jaya, if you have them.
So in the spreadsheet, you put the Google live amount. So is there any specific formula?
Yeah, so that works on any Google spreadsheet. So it has to be Google Sheets, but I'll drop the formula into the chat as well.
Yeah, I think I can see now.
So that's a function called Google Finance. And did I have to install something? No, I think it's native. Yeah, so it should be available on any spreadsheet, I think. If it doesn't work on the one you create, then give me a shout and I'll correct that. But yeah, so Google Finance, and then so I've just got it pulling together, so I can just type ADA in here, and it will then use that in the formula. So if I wanted to find out the price of, I don't know, BTC, it will go off and grab me the price of BTC. And so it's finding me the price in pounds of it. So I could change that to EUR for the sake of interest. And it'll show me the price of BTC in euros, which is very handy.
Yeah.
So then, are you back, Robin? Can you see it now? Muted.
This spreadsheet is really good, Jonathan. So it will be really helpful for us as well to keep.
Okay, let me share it then. If I make it anyone with the link, copy link, you guys can jump in there and grab a copy of it. Actually, I should make it probably, yeah, it is viewer only. So, but you should be able to then go in there and do file, make a copy. You'll have your own version that you can edit.
I think that's really good. You can make a copy. Yeah, in a Google Sheet. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
You can access it. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
The one thing off the bottom that I'm missing currently is just to do the sum of the columns. So that might be a useful thing to add in. And then everything in there, I'll give you your grand wallet portfolio token value. So are you seeing the stream now, Robin? Maybe having troubles having come back in. Okay, well.
Yeah, proxy red dog.
Okay, I'm on my phone, which is working.
So, Paul, you were to attend to the dog, was that?
No, I've got a couple of neighbours down the back. Their little rat dogs came up, and mine was going nuts.
Neighbourhood brawl.
Yeah, he's about the size of a. What size are you? He's a native New Zealand dog. He's a hunter-way, so like a sheepdog, big sheepdog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. Hunter Way. Okay. Okay. I'll do that now because I'll forget otherwise. Hunter Way. Is that right, dog? Yeah. Nice. So anyway, so on your phone, Robin, it probably might be too small to see, but hopefully you can see it still. Let me zoom in a bit. So yeah, we're grabbing the price of ADA using this function, which I have pasted into the chat, and I've also pasted a link to the spreadsheet so you can then make your own copy and work with it. We've got the amount of LQ tokens that I hold, and then for personal interest, I put in the price I purchased them at. I got them for free, so I've just put them down as a penny. But if you had bought them on exchange for, I don't know, 0.5 or something, I don't know what they're worth now, then you can see I've got a gain calculation as well. So amount 190, the original purchase price. That total is showing you the amount versus what you bought it for. And then I have the current price. So this is a one that I'll update all the time. So that's the figure I would pull from MinSwap. So I go on to MinSwap. I have my, well, if I'm on the wrong browser, but I have a list of favorites that I have in here. So I normally have LQ list in here, but if I just go to all the ones for now, you can filter for LQ, and it tells you the current price is 57.5 ADA on the MinSwap platform. So this is an exchange I'm getting the price from. The price of it is 57.5. That then works out the total with the amount multiplied by the current price. Gives me a pound price of that. So that's taking this value. I've done a cached version of that value here. Well, yeah, don't need to go to it. It just works. Multiplies that by your total.
What's the cash value?
So if the way I built it originally was using a third-party function to get the price of ADA, the live price of ADA. Since then, Google has released their own function, which negates the need, but I haven't deleted it off here, so it just works the same way still. So I've got the live price and I've got a cached price. But if this price ever doesn't come in, then I have the last time I was able to get the price stored in the sheet. So that's cached.
Can you click on the live price? Because on my spreadsheet downloaded it, there's an error in it.
Oh, has it not worked? Okay. So the Google Finance, I thought was now a native tool, but maybe I've got it installed as an extension.
Can you copy and paste that formula into the chat, and then I'll just replace it?
It's in there already, and it probably is in the copied thing as well. So it's in the chat just above.
Yeah, okay.
But if it's not in the sheet when you made a copy, the chances are it's deleted it because it's not natively supported.
I found it. Thank you.
Script. So yeah, I don't think I had it as an extra. Has that worked for you now? Has it got a live price?
Jonathan, it works for me, I think.
It does.
Why not you say in Google? Yeah, it works.
Okay, so yeah, it should be there. Not sure why it's not for you, Robin.
Yeah. It just has an error message in it. It like, I don't know what it's doing. Okay, never mind. I'll look at that.
We can jump on a one-to-one maybe if it doesn't work, if you can't get your head around it. Yeah, so then that gives me the total of my holdings in pounds. £4,000. Woohoo, I'm rich. and your gain figure. So if I'd bought them originally at I don't know what you can get them for now, 57.5, or so if I'd bought them at 25, then I've made a 230% gain. And so that figure will change over time if you leave your original price as is and just update the current price. That might be useful. Need to add to that column. And that date represents when I actually made my purchase. And then any notes I want to store against that. So it might say something like airdrop from Liquid Finance. And then you can start to build that out over time. You'll have an understanding of your portfolio, what it's worth. I've added the total down here of what it's worth, which is not currently working. J5, Mr. But then with my other tokens in here as well, it gives me the total price of my holdings. And that's just a quick, dirty way of holding my sanity over how much I've put into ADA and native tokens and all the rest of them. And then if you just go in and update that every few days, then it gives you an idea of how the markets are moving, which tokens are on the move, which ones might be a good time to get some more of, that sort of thing. And you're all welcome to glean from that. And
So how would you reflect NMKR now as a second item there? So that's the first one. So would you have you typically use your staked ADA wallet, purse section?
Yeah, I do, but actually for this NMKR token, I don't have custody of it yet because I bought it in as an early investor. I'm subject to a vesting period, so it's locked up for the first 6 months. I can actually withdraw parts of it within that, but I haven't bothered. I'm just leaving it in there for 6 months because I trust the team. So actually, it's not in my staked ADA wallet. It's actually on something called was it kick.io, I think, maybe something like that.
So this could be something like the Sunday tokens that we haven't claimed,
A lot, yeah.
that are sitting somewhere.
Yeah, so you could say the location is promise from Fluid almost, or collect from Drip Drops or something like that. And so then the exchange denotes where I'm going to get the price of it from, the current price from. So I will check the price of NMKR from MinSwap as well. I know that MinSwap lists the price of NMKR using ADA. And in fact, that column is pretty much redundant because I do everything based on ADA, but yeah, it is what it is. The amount of NMKR tokens I hold, can't actually remember. Let's say 500. The price was MinSwap. Did I close it? I did. There we go. Was 0.0145. The total, I haven't copied the formulas down. That's not great. Can I do this? haven't got my columns listed very well. Again, this is all just a bit embarrassing, showing you my dirty laundry. But
No, this is a perfect starting point in that this is what I was trying to say, is that I knew it could be quite simple to start and it can grow into anything that you need it to grow into, or it can just stay as a simple snapshot, quick check where everything is.
Yeah.
Or where everything came from, you know, just that little note, like a post-it note of where you bought something.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you can end up with 50 native assets. You've no idea where you're holding them, what they're worth. Don't know when to sell. Something that might, jump up 100 times in price, and you think, well, I need to get some of that money back out. But you never do it because you're not tracking. And there are no uniform tools for doing this quite yet. So there, my current price is 0.015. My purchase price was 0.0145, and my gain then is 100%. And I got that today.
Why is your gain 100% if you only just...
So that means that there is no gain. So I've got 100% in my current...
Oh, you went from 0 to 100%.
Well, so if I'd got 0 to begin with, then my gain would still be 100%, because my purchase price is different from my current price. So if I'd purchased it, and now 3 weeks down the road, I've got 500 MA tokens, 50 MA tokens, my price goes up to 0.02, then I've had a 37% increase on my holdings.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, cool.
This is what I mean about doing and seeing a live example when you're trying to, and then understand what you're looking at.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I have to do it to understand it. And it's bizarre. I built my career out of software development, and I'm good at it. But I'm not good at mental arithmetic. So,
I'm the same. My children...
I still use my fingers.
My children are learning this in primary school and high school, and my kids are much better at mental arithmetic than I am. They can do things in their head that I cannot do. My head just says, no, you didn't learn it like that. You have to go through the 12 stages of long division before you can, and write it down and show each stage before you can understand what you're looking at.
Yeah, my biggest fear is that I lose a finger in a chainsaw accident, and then my whole maths will be blown. I just won't.
Because you don't have one finger to look at.
Yeah, just have thrown
Half
everything.
in 9 times cable.
Yeah, my base 9 maths will have to get a lot stronger. Yeah. So good. So you might want to make another copy of that, because we fixed a few things as I built it out. But that's the crux of it. Feel free to take it away and play. And if you get any really good additions to your spreadsheets, then feed it back in, and we can evolve it over time, turn it into something useful for us all. Good. Well, we've done more than our fair share, I think, today. Paul is falling asleep on us, so we should let him get to bed. And,
You got that right. Yeah, up.
Yeah, well past it. So thanks for that. Another good session. Hope it was useful.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yes, thank you.
Question, sorry. This proposal assessor, this thing that am I a bit late for nominate myself, but it's just like I should just carry on doing, because I saw your timetable.
Right. Yeah. Now your COVID's got in the way, unfortunately. So you would have been doing your proposal assessments last week. The deadline was yesterday, was it, Paul? I think something like that. Mm-hmm. So you've just missed it this time, but it'll open up again in 3 months.
No problem. Yeah.
But
Thanks,
yeah.
Jonathan.
In the meantime, there's lots of things to get involved in. I'll send you some links to Catalyst School, which is a good Discord server to get you clued up in all things proposal assessing and proposing as well. So really good guys to know. And that's worth spending some time getting to know people between now and then.
Yeah. I saw that. I think. Yeah. Good.
Great. All right. Thanks all. Have good days.
Once again, to your youngest one.
This one, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Not
will.
the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's guitar mad. He's had a birthday guitar almost every birthday since he was 4. And actually earlier than that, because he had plastic ones to begin with. So he's got a plastic guitar, he's got a ukulele, he's got a banjo. Now he's got an acoustic guitar. He's very happy. He's got 2 classical.
Awesome.
I'll send a video of him playing it at some point.
Perfect. Very talented.
Good. All right. Thanks everyone. Have good weeks.
All the best. Mate.
See you soon.
Bye all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.